Hi, and welcome to a Life Soul podcast, where we explore personal growth, high performance, and intentional living. I am Wasim Balani, and I believe life isn't just about getting through the day, it's about becoming fully alive in everything we do. Through my journey, whether in medicine as a heart rhythm cardiologist, cycling and running, or personal development, I have learned that success isn't just about reaching goals, but about who we become along the way. This podcast is here to inspire and challenge you to push your limits, cultivate discipline, and live with purpose. Join me each week as we dive into ideas, reflections, and practical strategies to help you grow into your best self. So let's get started. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a Life Soul podcast. Thank you for being here with me today, and thank you for making personal development and growth a part of your life. You know, lately I've been asking myself this question: how do you stay optimistic when life feels overwhelming? Because we all know what it feels like when the world seems heavy. Stress piles up at work, responsibilities at home stretch you thin. Or you listen to the news and it feels like everything is falling apart. And on those days, optimism doesn't come naturally. And yet, those are the exact moments when optimism matters most. Not the surface level, just think positive kind of optimism, but the real kind. The mindset that helps you see possibilities when challenges are everywhere. That keeps you moving when you feel tired, and that gives you hope that tomorrow can still be better than today. And that's what I want to talk about in this episode. Because right now, when so many people are pessimistic about the future, optimism isn't just a nice to have attitude. It's a strategy for living, and it can change everything about how you show up. Now, some people might confuse optimism with ambition, but they're not the same thing. Think of them as a power twins. Optimism is in your mindset. It's your belief that the future holds good things and that you'll figure it out no matter what. It keeps you energized, resilient, and hopeful. It's a fuel that helps you stay in the game. Ambition, on the other hand, is your drive. It's your hunger to achieve, to grow, to push yourself. Ambition sets your goals, raises your standards, and gets you into the action. It's the engine that makes you move. And here's the interesting thing. If you only have ambition without optimism, life feels like a grind. You're pushing, but you're not enjoying the journey. And if you only have optimism without ambition, you might stay hopeful but passive, waiting for good things to show up without moving towards them. But together, optimism gives you belief and ambition gives you the drive. And when you combine them, you create unstoppable momentum. So why does optimism matter? Why is it worth building a greater sense of hope about the future? First, optimism fuels your energy. When you believe good things are possible, you naturally show up with more focus, more drive, and more presence. Second, optimism builds resilience. See, life will knock us all down. That's guaranteed. The difference is whether you stay down or rise again. Optimism gives you that reason to get back up because you still believe there's something worth fighting for. Optimism also strengthens your relationships. When you bring optimism into your relationships, you naturally bring more encouragement, patience, and belief in others. Think about it. People enjoy being around someone who lifts them up, who helps them see possibilities, instead of someone who always points out what's wrong. Optimism makes you a better partner because you support and believe in your spouse. It makes you a better parent because you show your kids that challenges can be overcome. And it makes you a better leader because you give people confidence and energy rather than draining theirs with constant negativity. And finally, optimism shapes your future. When you believe better days are possible, you take the actions that creates those days. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you expect failure, you hesitate, you hold back, and maybe you quit. But if you expect growth and you're optimistic about your possibilities and your potential, you persist, and those extra reps, those extra miles, those extra tries eventually add up to your breakthrough. And that's why optimism is so powerful. It's not about ignoring reality, it's about fueling yourself with the belief that tomorrow can be brighter and letting that belief shape how you live today. And here's what's fascinating: science shows optimism really does change your life. Studies show that optimistic people tend to have better health, stronger relationships, and yes, they even live longer on average than people who are pessimistic. Think about it for a second. Two people might eat the same food, do the same workouts, live in the same city. But if someone approaches life with optimism and the other with constant pessimism, their outcome are often completely different. The optimist's body handles stress better. Their brain is wired to see options instead of dead ends. And over time, that shows up not just in how they feel, but how long and how well they live. So, optimism isn't just about feeling good in the moment, it's about shaping the way your body responds to pressure, the way your brain makes decisions, and ultimately, the way your entire life unfolds. There's also a deeper layer to optimism that comes from faith. For many people, optimism isn't just about positive thinking, it's about believing that life has meaning, that challenges have purpose, and there's a bigger plan unfolding even when we don't see it right away. Faith based optimism gives you an anchor when circumstances feel shaky. It reminds you that setbacks are not the end of the story, that growth can come through struggle, and that tomorrow can hold blessings you cannot imagine today. And for me personally, I believe in God and His plans. I trust His wisdom that no matter how bad something might seem in the moment, there's always something good that will come out of it. That belief keeps me hopeful and helps me move forward even when life feels uncertain. That kind of optimism isn't naive, it's grounded in faith. And when you carry that perspective, it gives you the courage to face the unknown with hope. When I think about optimism in my own life, one of the clearest examples right now is my marathon training. I'm optimistic I will cross the Chicago Marathon finish line. But that optimism isn't just blind hope. It fuels me to stick to the training plan, to stay disciplined and consistent, even on the days when it feels hard. And that belief that the finish line is possible gives me the energy to keep pushing through. And it's the same with this podcast. When I started, I had no idea if anyone would listen. Honestly, there were moments I wondered if it's all worth it. But optimism kept me going. It gave me the belief that even if one person out there needed to hear a message, it was worth showing up. And that belief kept me consistent week after week. And then there is my family life. Let's be real. Life with kids and responsibilities can feel overwhelming sometimes. But optimism changes how I see it. Instead of focusing only on the challenges, optimism helps me believe that tough moments will pass and that there is joy to be found even in the chaos. That belief will help me show up with more patience, more presence, and more gratitude. So, how do we actually stay optimistic when life feels overwhelming? The good news is optimism isn't just something you're born with, it's a skill. You can build it. And here's a few practices that can help you. First, gratitude journaling. Write down 3 things you're grateful for each day. It shifts your focus from what's missing to what's already there. Second, reframe setbacks. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Ask, what can I learn from this? How might this challenge be preparing me for something better? Another important tip is to surround yourself with optimistic people and positive voices. Because the people you spend time with, the books you read, and the contents you consume, it all shapes your outlook. So choose voices that lift your vision. Also, you need to visualize the future you want. See yourself succeeding. Then pair that vision with concrete steps. It's not about daydreaming, it's about aligning belief with action. And lastly, celebrate small wins. Every bit of progress matters. Looking back at how far you've come builds proof that effort works, and that fuels even more optimism. So let me come back to our question. How do we stay optimistic when life feels overwhelming? You don't wait for it to magically appear. You generate it. Through gratitude, through reframing, through surrounding yourself with the right people and influences, and through pairing hope with consistent actions. Because optimism is believing in a better tomorrow, and ambition is the drive to make it real. And together, they give you resilience, energy, and the momentum to move forward no matter what life throws your way. So here's my challenge to you. This week, choose one optimism habit. Maybe it's writing down what you're grateful for. Maybe it's reframing one negative thought. Maybe it's celebrating a small win you've been overlooking. Just one step. Because here's the truth. Optimism isn't about ignoring reality. It's about creating a new one. It's about choosing to see light where others see darkness. To keep moving when others give up. To believe that the best is still ahead. And when you choose optimism, you open the door to energy, resilience, and growth. So give yourself permission to rise above the overwhelm and to build a future worth running toward. You deserve to feel hopeful. You deserve to feel strong. You deserve to live with that fire inside that says, no matter what, I will keep going. And it all starts with that choice. The choice to stay optimistic. Every day is a chance to believe, to act, to move closer to the future you want. So stay optimistic, stay ambitious, and keep showing up. That's it for this episode, my friends, and thank you for tuning in today. And if this episode resonated with you, please share it with someone who might need a little dose of optimism right now, because we don't grow alone, we grow better when we do it together.